Hi everyone, my name is Adeline Odiostegui, and today I will be talking about Piaget's theory of cognitive development. Jean Piaget was born in the year of 1896 in Switzerland and died in the year of 1980. He studied zoology and obtained a PhD in the natural sciences. This was at the University of Neuchâtel. He was known as a lead figure of cognitive and developmental psychology. Jean Piaget worked at the Alfred Binet laboratory where he evaluated the results of standardized reasoning tests, and these tests were meant to measure child's intelligence and make connections between child's age and nature of mistakes. So from this, Piaget became interested in knowing more how children learn. He then went on to develop what is called a master plan, which this was a research program developed in order to address the question of how does knowledge develop. He studied the intellectual development of his three children, and his theory was actually based on the observation of his three children. Some assumptions of his theory is that children are more than miniature adults. Piaget's theory was based on the idea that as a child develops, then the child builds cognitive structures as well. He assumed that human beings are born with tendencies to organize and adapt. And these are some key concepts. And organization, according to Piaget, is the tendency to systemize and combine processes into coherent general systems. And adaptation is the process of creating a good fit or match between one's conception of reality and one's real life experiences. And then schemes or schemas are organized patterns of behavior or thought that children formulate as they interact with their environment. And these ideas play a role in the stages that I'm about to explain. So there are 4 stages in Piaget's theory of cognitive development, and these are sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, and formal operational. Sensory motor starts from birth to 2 years, and during this stage, children construct schemes through their senses and through motor activities. And some of the examples of senses are seeing, hearing, and some of the motor activities are touching and reaching. So as they discover how to use their senses, they also discover how to move around. During this stage, the child also develops object permanence. So children who have not developed object permanence yet, let's say if you give that child a ball and let's say you take it away and they don't look for it, this means that they have not developed object permanence because they still don't understand that it still exists even though it's not in front of them. So children who have developed object permanence will still look for it even though it's not in front of them. Then there's the pre-operational stage, which according to Piaget starts from 2 to 7 years, and this is basically between the preschool and primary grades. During this time, the child's more simple develops more symbol-oriented schemes, but they're still limited. So the child forms many new schemas, but still does not think logically. They tend to be egocentric, and what I mean with that is, for example, if you ever see a child like just sitting in front of you or like standing in front of you and like blocking you from something, this is because they still don't understand that you can't see through them. It's still hard for them to see things from the perspective of others. And they also have conservation problems at this stage. So conservation problems is basically the ability to recognize that certain properties stay the same despite change in appearance of position. However, during this stage, the child is gradually acquiring ability to conserve and decenter. And then there's concrete operational. Concrete operational happens between the years of 7 to 11 years. So during this age, or during this stage, children learn conservation. And what I mean by conservation, I'm going to quickly talk about an example that I found. So for example, if you take 2 identical glasses, then put the same amount of water in them and show them to the child and say, which one has more? The kid will tell you that they all have the same amount. And then right in front of the child, let's say you take one of those glasses and pour it into a short, fat glass, and then you take the other one and pour it into a tall, skinny glass. And then right away you ask the child, okay, which one has more? Up to the stage of concrete operational, if the child has already developed conservation, the child will tell you that it's still the same amount despite the size. So that's how you know if they have developed concrete operational. At this stage, children are also beginning to reason in math. Then there's the formal operational stage. This happens from 11 years and older. So this is the fourth stage. So during this stage, children are they're able to reason more about abstract concepts. They reason about outcomes and consequences. They are able to deal with or form hypotheses and engage in mental manipulations. They're able to understand more analogies, and they develop also more reasoning. And an example of analogy would be like that I obtained from the book is like if you say like a penny is to a dollar as years is to centuries, and they know that that despite the different content in the form of the two analogies is still the same. So they start reasoning more. They are more their deductive reasoning is more developed. So what's the education relevance? So the education relevance is that instruction should be based on children's developmental stage. So as the child moves through all these stages, instruction should be tailored or adjusted to that child's stage. And learning should be more student-centered and accomplished through discovery learning. Educational impact that it has had. So Piaget's theory of cognitive development has changed how people view the child's world and the methods of studying children. So his ideas have definitely driven research that has increased the understanding of cognitive development. And that's all that I have. Thank you.